When monsters arise, humanity's last hope isn't a machine. It's a living, breathing weapon, piloted by a vengeful ace. Let's discuss. Spiraken Manga Review, episode 605. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zen, saying konnichiwa, aloha, bonjour, and what's up? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on youtube.com/Spiraken, Spotify, Stitcher, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN. I'll guarantee you find us one way or another. And if you are watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, and as always, click on that bell for notification for when we release new episodes. Because we've got so many really good ones, and I'm actually excited to talk about something kind of unique, different, and odd. But let's actually get to it. Sure, because if you remember from that last episode, I spun that one that only the Wheel of Manga, and it takes time today reviewing a manga, well, that is kind of derivative of another series. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Kaiju Kamui by Shintaro Arima. And this is a manga which has a very unique premise, but it is a very familiar premise. Because in the far distant past, Japan is attacked by giant monsters. Oh no! And they're coming to destroy things. Unfortunately, the world comes together to stop this giant monster, but the only option they have after weapons don't work, planes don't work, is they need to drop a very large explosive on this monster, which they have dubbed, well, the monster killer, and wiping it out completely. Now, the monster known as Shindo gets completely destroyed in this attack. Well, we are led to believe that. But in reality, there's something that has happened, actually. The giant monster known as Shindo was pregnant. And inside of the giant monster, there is a baby. And it's still alive, but they can't kill it. So what they're going to do instead is they're going to do something with that. Well, what are they going to do? Well, we're not entirely sure, but a shadowy organization has decided to take this baby monster and do something. But 5 years pass. We don't hear anything about this monster, but many things happen. And monsters again appear to attack Japan. Kaijus of all different shapes. Some that look oddly familiar from various other kaiju movies. Some of them from series like Evangelion. There's one that even looks a little like it's from Mazinger. But all these monsters show up and they're causing lots of havoc. And who's going to save the day? Well, Japan has hired an elite group of fighter pilots to combat these monsters. And they are led by ace pilot Shindo Yamata. And he and his tight-knit group of pilots are going to take down one of these monsters. That's their plan. And they're using this new technology, which is fascinating. And what is this technology? It's called neuroconnectors, which are these ports in the base of their spines. What happens is when they get in the airplanes, they actually jack in and they become part of the airplane. They can move it around and do things. And him and his squad, which he thinks of as his family because he loves them all. It's something which keeps him grounded, are going to be the ones that are going to take down these horrible monsters. And that's the plan. It's going to go well. It's going to go great. Unfortunately, after jacking in, flying, and fighting this monster, they get up close and personal. They're going to kick its butt. They shoot it. They drop a bomb. They think they heard it. The monster ends up retaliating in a horrible way and ends up killing the entire squadron. Except for Shindo, because Shindo is the best pilot of them all. But you just watch everyone that he cares about, his entire family, get killed by this giant monster having a tantrum. And all of his friends are dead. And not like little dead, like they died horrible, horrifying deaths in their cockpits. And he doesn't know what he's going to do. So first, he's like, you know what? I'm going to fly this monster. I'm going to blow my plane up. But someone messages him and says, listen, do you want to just die in a blaze of glory, or do you want to get back at this thing and avenge your friends and family? So Shindo backs up and he meets a mysterious figure, this young girl who is named Shinonome Yuri, and she's in charge of the Kaiju Control Specialty Group. And they have a weapon that's going to save the day. And what is this weapon? Yes, it is the child of Shindo, which they've repurposed into the giant mechanized biological fighting machine known as Kamui. pretty much what they have done is they have hollowed out the interior of Kamui, put a actual cockpit in its brain, and have connected it to the nerve connection system. So what's going to happen is that Kamui is going to be piloted by Shindo, and they're going to fight the monster. That's the plan. He was never trained in this. He wasn't shown how to do this. Essentially, this is shut up and get in the robot. And very similar, there is a port he has to crawl into to go up the spine into the body of this robot, very reminiscent to a certain plug from a certain series created by Hideki Anno. The design for the actual cockpit is similar to Mazinger. And then he controls the robot, and of course, the monster comes out of a pool like Mazinger. This is an homage to a lot of series. Kind of a little frustrating with that. But he ends up going to get revenge and fight the giant monster. And what can he do without being able to pilot it? Well, he ends up fighting this monster in a really cool monster fight. And that's the story. It is a giant monster fighting against another monster. And that is it. This is a Kaiju versus Kaiju fighting series, which should be amazing. It clicks a bunch of notes. But honestly, all I could see when I'm reading this is it's literally a ripoff of Evangelion. It's like, okay, he goes in there and, oh, it's a dark room, and poof, it opens up and we see the giant robot. Oh, we're going to go in here and it's going to be underwater. Okay, it goes underwater. Oh, it comes out of this. Okay. Yeah, it is. And you're not going to be trained in this. You're just going to fight it, which is similar to most other giant robot series. But this one, it's mediocre. It's really mediocre. The art style is good, but the concept itself, I didn't like it. I mean, the fact that you introduce a bunch of really interesting characters and then fridge them within 2 minutes is lazy storytelling. You don't do that in a lot of series. This one did that. I didn't like that it did that. The opening sequence, 5 years ago, takes an entire chapter to get to the point of the death of Shindo, the giant robot, giant monster, and then getting to that. And then we have, of course, Yamato's whole storyline. And honestly, it was kind of mid. I want to say a lot more, but honestly, I gave this our second to lowest rating of typical reading material, local correctional facility or psychiatric institute. While there is some great high octane kaiju action and some solid polished art, this is super derivative. The characters are really underdeveloped. I couldn't remember the main character's name. I keep forgetting it. The plot beats are so predictable, it's not even funny. I mean, you could tell where everything was gonna happen. And there is no depth to the story. It's just popcorny, but it's not fun popcorn. It's not like, I want to read this again. And it turns out that this manga is only 3 volumes. So there's no reason for this. This could have been a one-shot. I mean, I really thought it was garbage. That's the truth. This is a really short review, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's kind of garbage series. It's not the worst thing I've ever read, but it's really rough. I mean, some of the tropes are it's the enemy of my enemy. There's pilot themed superpower where the main character combines with something to pilot it, and that's the only way he can control it. And there's giant monsters attacking, and all the monsters are just, you can't tell their designs. They're very weird. Their shadows are really obvious ripoffs of Godzilla characters. One of them straight up looks like it's Rodan, but they don't say Rodan because they don't want to pay the licensing. There are series which you do something unique with your monsters, that you make them intriguing, or you do something with the story that it is well done. There are tons of these stories where it's the one pilot has to control the machine and only can do it. There's some really good ones. This is not that. This was rushed and hackneyed and, more importantly, just poorly done. Now, if you read this, you like this, let me know what you thought, what I missed. Email me, zay@sparkin.com, or tweet me at Spark and let me know your thoughts. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases for the week, because we actually have some good manga releases this week. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Adachi and Shinomura, Volume 6. Akira, Volume 4. The cult of Akira has finally been established, and Neo Tokyo has been nuked by Seoul. What's going to happen? We have to wait and find out. Then we have Akko and Bambi, Volume 6. The Ancient Magus Bride, Wizard's Blue, Volume 9. The Beginning After the End, Volume 9. Blade and Bastard, Volume 3. The BS Situation of Togetsu Umidori, Volume 2. This is the final volume. Clamp Shiro and Clamp Kuro, the two art books of Clamp. And I love the fact that the Shiro has Cardcaptor Sakura and Kuro has Kamui from X 1999. This looks really cool. I'm actually really excited about this. Then we have Convenient Semi-Friend Volume 2. Course Knight Gunther Volume 1. Cross-Dressing Villainess Cecilia Sylvie Volume 7. Darasan of Riwa Volume 2. Death March Rhapsody to the Parallel World Volume 24. The Devil is a Part-Timer Volume 23. This is the light novel. Easygoing Terror Defense of the Optimistic Lord Volume 6, the manga. The Elf Sisters Can Wait for the Night, Volume 3. Everyone's Darling Has a Secret, Volume 3. The Fruits Basket box set, and this is a really pretty looking box set, and all these volumes are the new Omnibuy, so it's a box set for all the Omnibuy in a pretty pink box. This is going to be pretty expensive. Then we've got Guillotima the Gigantus, Volume 4. The Girl Past the Filter, Volume 1. Grand Metal Organs, Volume 1. This is a really creepy looking series. Granddaughter of Demonic Cultivation, Volume 2. Gravitation Collector's Edition, Volume 7. This is actually the second series, the spin-off series, Gravitation X, Parts 1 and 2. 2 was never released in the US. I'm actually really excited to see what's going to happen with these two. Then we have Honoko Akibane's Bodyguard, the Volume 6. I got Cheat Skill in Another World and Became Unrivaled in the Real World 2, Volume 6. I Made Friends with the Second Prettiest Girl in My Class, Volume 2. I Want to Be a Receptionist in This Magical World, Volume 7, the light novel. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my levels, light novel, volume number 17. Inside the Tentacle Cave, this is going to be manga number 6. Is the Order a Rabbit, Volume 4. A Witch's Life in Mongol. This art looks amazing. It's something very different. I believe this is a manga that was made by a very different artist. Steel Ball Run, Volume 4. So this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 7, Part 4. Then we got Kowloon Generic Romance, Volume 10. Officially was released this week, got pushed back. Then we have Kusunoki's Garden of Gods, Volume 3. Magical Knight Wraith, Part 2, Book 3. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, Volume 16. Mistakenly Saving the Villain, Volume 1. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, Deluxe Edition, Volume 1. My Status as an Assassin Obviously Exceeds the Heroes, Volume 6, the light novel. Omega Megara, Volume 1. Our Last Crusade of the Rise of a New World, Volume 15. Royler Taylor, Clother to the Crown, Volume 5. Cheetah's Little Big World, Volume 2. The Skeleton Enchanted by the Cursed Blade, Volume 2. This is going to be the manga. So What's Wrong with Getting Reborn as a Goblin, manga number 9. Spacewalking with You, Volume 2. The Strange Adventures of a Broke Mercenary, Volume 13, the light novel. Sword Art Online Ordeal Scale, light novel number 3. A Tale of the Secret Saint, Volume 10. Tales of the 100 Monsters Next Door, Volume 1. The Terrifying Students at Ghoul School, Volume 1. The Monster Wants to Eat Me, Volume 5. Trinity 7, The Seven Magicians, Volume 31. Tsubaki Cho, Lonely Planet, Volume 11. 2 on Ice, Volume 1, and 2 on Ice, Volume 2. We've got Victoria of Many Faces, Volume 3. Who Killed the Hero? Tales of the Prophecy, Volume 2. Wimpy Demon King and Sundari Hero. And last and certainly not least, we've got Wisteria, Wand, and Sword, Volume 10. And so these are the manga and light novel releases for this week. Which are you most excited about? Let me know. Email me at zanspark.com or tweet me at Spark. And for me personally, my top manga releases for this week are going to be actually, well, let's get to it. It's going to be actually Color Shiro Kuro by Clamp, which looks really pretty. I gotta admit, that is a beautiful looking art book, and I like that it's two different art books. You have Corpse Knight Gunther, Volume 1. This series looks dark and crazy. Same thing with Grand Metal Organist, Volume 1. Yeah, The Terrifying Students at Ghoul School, Volume 1. This is a comedy series that I've heard is really good. And then Two on Ice is a new skating manga that looks pretty, well, refreshing for what it is. The other one I was really big out was going to be The Royal Tailor, and then, of course, Trinity Sun. But these were the 5 that were my top picks for this week. So let me know your thoughts. Email me, zanspirekin.com, or tweet me at Spirekin. So with that in mind, I want to thank each and every one of you for checking out this podcast. Every email I get, every new comment, it gives me more motivation to keep doing this podcast. I love doing this, and I'm going to keep doing this so an old man has to read manga with thick glasses and large print manga. So thank you so much. Every new subscriber gives me more motivation, so definitely like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about this. Share this. Leave me comments. I'm going to be doing a big comment show. We're going to talk about a bunch of the things that have been discussed lately. And more importantly, we have a couple of new episodes that we're going to be talking about. And like Greta said, we might be doing a TV show about some of the new TV shows coming out. I want to talk about the new Ranma season and some other manga as well. And also, maybe we'll talk about Murder, She Wrote. Or we'll talk about Dungeon Crawler Carl. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, I know that this is a little bit fast, but hey, we're doing what we can. So anyway, as usual, I'm your host, Zan. And let's get to the part that you have all been waiting for, the most popular part of this podcast. And what are we talking about? We're talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, a Wheel of Manga, except most of us. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. And what I've done is I've sent a manga top to each of the 10 slots. What we're going to do is we're spinning the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, the manga that's in that spot is what I'm going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. And we got some really cool titles on here and some really weird ones. Let's spin and see what we're going to review in the next episode. I'm really excited for a couple of these and some I'm a little more concerned about. But let's spin and see. Number 7, and that is going to be My Hero Academia Vigilante, the story of a college student who decides to become an unlicensed superhero after he doesn't get into UA. Is this going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Well, we're going to have to find out and wait and see. I'm actually excited to read this one because I heard this is just as good as the opening story arc of My Hero Academia, but it's from a different point of view. It's the concept of anyone can be a hero. But I digress. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I am excited to be talking about a couple of really cool things. And more importantly, this weekend is going to be a little crazy. So, hope you're safe. Hope everything is all well. And as usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. Catch you guys next time. And as always, keep reading manga. See you later.